Hello, my name is Smith. I'm an 8th grade math teacher, and today I'm going to react to unpopular opinions surrounding teaching and education. The YouTube algorithm recommended me a video by Luke Alexander, and he reacts to pop culture unpopular opinions, so I thought it would be fun to kind of put a little twist on it and ask my followers on Instagram. A good majority of them are teachers. Ask them for their opinions surrounding teaching and education, and let me tell you, I got some good answers. Some of them I strongly agree with, and some of them I strongly disagree with, and some of them are so controversial that I don't feel comfortable reacting to them as a teacher, so I will share them at the end and you can see if you agree with them or, you know, just what your thoughts are. Let's do it! Also, everyone has a different experience, so please don't be offended if I disagree with yours. Maybe if I had your experience, I would have your opinion, but I have my experience, so that's what my opinions are based off of. To kick it off, good teachers are the mean ones. If you're really a good teacher, I think you can not be perceived as mean by the students. Although I did have many experiences in high school when kids would mistake teachers pushing them to focus more on academics as being mean. But I think that's something that wears off, and kids generally understand that. They just are mad in the moment that they're having to do work. The ideal situation is that you are able to inspire them to work hard and teach them well while they have mutual respect for you. I probably disagree with them. Good teachers are not always the mean ones. I feel a little bit icky sharing this one because I do agree with it, but maybe not as harshly as this is worded. Overly colorful classrooms are tacky and overwhelming. I mean, I don't teach elementary, first of all. I just prefer the simple, natural, plant, minimalistic sort of look, but there are a lot of really cute, colorful classrooms. But studies do show that you should have like 3 or 4 colors max in your classroom so the colors aren't too stimulating and distracting from the actual content. I mean, there are really cute classrooms too, so not all of them are tacky and overwhelming, but they definitely can be. So with that one, I'll have to say I do agree. Next one, kids wearing hoods doesn't bother me. Honestly, it doesn't bother me that much. I do think that sometimes when they wear hoods, they are less likely to give their full attention in class, and I heard also that on the hallways, the cameras, they need them to not wear their hoods to be able to identify students. So my opinion is that I probably agree with that. It doesn't bother me, but I still enforce it regardless. I don't know that this next one is an unpopular opinion. I think that everyone probably has this opinion. Paper Mate Flare pens are the best, and correct, 100% they're the best. I use them every single day. I love how they write. I love how it's thicker. Love it. This next one, grades aren't necessary. I mean, if somebody developed a better system, I'd give it a shot, you know? Like, I'm not super attached to grades, and I don't like how the same kids continue to fail versus get A's and be successful. At the same time, getting good grades is a big motivator for a lot of students. Not saying it's the best motivator, but it is a motivator for a lot of students. I would say I don't know how I feel about this. This next one of my teacher friends did, and we're the same Enneagram, and so I do agree with it, but I know so many of you guys are going to disagree with this and hate this. Even there are so many things in here about hating this that I personally like. I like state testing and evaluations. I kind of like it. Students need to be assessed. It needs to be figured out what they understand, what they don't, what they need to work on. Currently, testing is the most quick and efficient way to assess large groups of students. Of course, it would be nice to have portfolios and single one-on-one conferences with students, but I mean, I teach math, so I enjoy seeing growth in numbers and being able to see actual data that shows growth. And evaluations, I also love getting feedback, even if it's negative, usually. I like to know how I'm doing and what I can be improved upon, but that's just the Enneagram 3 in me. I know it's an unpopular opinion, and there are a lot of cons to state testing and ways it should and could be done better. It shouldn't have as much stress surrounding it as it does. What do you want? Are you going to join me? Also, I should say, I have never actually taken state testing because last year was my first year teaching and it was canceled. Next one, I have a special place in my heart for disruptive students. I mean, I think every teacher does. It's like you just get to know those students better because they share more of their personality with you. Traditional school isn't for every kid. I agree, but I don't know a solution. Alternative school seems like it's not it. Next one, I love when students tell me I'm wrong or made a mistake. I wish I loved it more. When I was hired to become a teacher, I was hired by a principal who used to be a math teacher, and he said every single class period I make it a mistake, every single one. It's just something that happens to every single person. I think I have slight dyslexia and I can mix up numbers. Generally, I'm like, oh, I just want to teach it perfectly. Why can't I teach it perfectly? I don't actively enjoy when students tell me I'm wrong, but I do appreciate it. So, next one. School support staff is underpaid and that needs to be talked about. I have to be honest, I don't even know the realm of the pay of the support staff at my school, but I can definitely imagine that it is likely too low. I think everyone who is doing the best they can in the job they can should make a livable wage. That's my opinion. Oh, this one. It's okay to let a kid sleep in class if they need it. I feel like a lot of administrators wouldn't agree with this. Like, I'd probably say no, unless it was like some sort of extreme circumstance. I'm all about trying to understand the student's perspective, and I understand that students might have not gotten any sleep the night before, but if that's the case, I've told students, listen, if you're going to be at school, you need to be paying attention. Go to the front office, call your parents and see if they can pick you up, or you can sit in the nurse's office, but I can't have you in my classroom not learning. And I know that's kind of a harsh stance to take, but if you let one kid sleep in class, I do feel like it could become a slippery slope. But I understand why a teacher would have this opinion, and I respect it. Next one, high school students should learn a trade even if college bound. I'm down. Sure. Homework and harsh late policies are counterproductive. So this is like a double-barreled. First, is homework counterproductive? There have been a lot of studies that showed it's not as productive as one might expect, especially for the students who are already struggling with content. My goal is to have most students finish most of the work in class and have it be a very minimal number of problems that we've gone over and they practice and they understand on their own. And late policies, harsh late policies, a lot of times content builds on each other, and if students are doing mass amounts of late work and just turning it in the last minute, that puts a lot of pressure on the teacher to get all that grading done at the end of the semester, and I doubt that the students' learning was up to par when they just crammed and did all of those late works. So I do think that sometimes harsh late policies do need to be in place. I don't fully disagree with this, but I don't agree with this opinion either. Another one I disagree with. Why am I such a... I mean, first off, these are unpopular opinions, so it's expected that the majority of people don't agree with it. But technology doesn't make our lessons better. With technology, students can experience things that other classrooms have never been able to experience. They can research and practice and create things online. It can definitely be a very good thing, in my opinion. Student behaviors has not gotten worse in the last 28 years. I think students have learned to advocate for themselves more. They've learned their voice more, but I don't know. It's hard. I'm only 26 years old. After I teach 28 years, I'll let you know. Next one, kids need more freedom as they get older. 18-year-olds can vote but need permission to pee. Here's the thing. Teachers are held responsible for the actions of their students during their class time. Some students are not going to be responsible, and it's just a few students. Like, I remember in my high school, students did the deed in the bathroom, and if you just let students do whatever they want, then it could turn into some pretty bad decisions. So it's hard to say. I'm not one for making a rule just to make a rule. I think as much freedom as possible is a good thing. I like being the first one at school or the last one there. This is funny. I sometimes do. It's kind of nice being like, ooh, I'm the only one here, and you get so much work done. Minimum grade should be 50 out of 100, no zeros. So it's funny, I read this to Jonathan last night, and he was like, well, if you go into work and just sit there and don't do anything, do you expect to be paid 50% of your paycheck? And I'm kind of on his side. I think the grading scale could be adjusted a little bit, but I don't think kids should get 50 out of 100 if they didn't do anything. The best result there is to help them understand how much a 0 out of 100 hurts their grade and encourage them to do it and give them partial credit. I don't like the idea of 50 out of 100 personally. Students should know when you're having a bad day or frustrated, show them how you deal with it. I kind of agree with this. A couple of times I shared with them, hey guys, today's been a little bit of an off day, just I hope you can be understanding, and they've always impressed me. I love professional development days and meetings. I can't say I agree with you. I just feel like there's so much I feel like I have to get done, and whenever I'm at these things, I'm just thinking about like the millions of things I have to do, or honestly, sometimes I'm on my computer doing those things. Next one, photocopying, stapling, etc. is fun. It's so methodical, I feel accomplished afterwards. Sometimes after like a crazy day at school, I like work on a bulletin board or making copies, and I'm just like, and it's just kind of a stress reliever. I'm with you there. I agree. Teaching math is actually easy. I don't know if this person teaches elementary school and in comparison to the other subjects it's easy. I would say teaching in general is not easy. Math has steps that you can teach, and it's easy to see where students are messing up or not understanding it and correct it. So it's one of the reasons I enjoy teaching math, but I don't know if I would agree that it's easy. People who say they can be effective by only working contract hours are lying. I agree with them. There's so much that teachers have to do and will do because they want to do well by their students. Especially, I mean, I'm just in my second year, so maybe by like year 10, it would be more feasible to only work contracted hours, but as a second year teacher, it is not possible for me. School counselors do way more than they get credit for. I'm sure. The first class period is actually the best one. I can't say much, but I will say I do love my first period and I really enjoy it. They get the work done and it seems a little bit less distractible than the other class periods. If you get a first period that is still awake and lively enough to participate in a discussion, I think first period can be really good. But if you get sleepy kids, it's hard to wake them up sometimes. Some teachers don't care if their students pass or fail. I feel like it could not have been a teacher who put this here because it is in teachers' benefits to have their students succeed both selfishly and altruistically. If your students do really well, that looks good on you as a teacher, but most teachers do it because it's like they genuinely want their kids to grow and understand and learn. So I don't agree with that. There may be a teacher in existence who doesn't care if their students pass or fail, but I would say it's very, very small percentage of the teacher population. Next one, I will reply even if it's late. If they're asking for help, I don't care about the time. I feel like I could run myself ragged doing this sort of thing. Occasionally, if it's a time-sensitive thing, I will reply, but otherwise, generally, I'll just wait and do it the next day, and I just don't think that teachers are paid enough to be working all of the time. But if you do this, kudos to you. This one is funny, and I did a poll on Instagram for a few of these. Let students use their phones if they're finished with a task. We would too. And a lot of teachers do use their phones during instruction. It kind of comes, again, back to responsibility. Like, if students are responsible, maybe. I'm inclined to say probably not, though, because when the students are done, I want to give them another task to work on generally. Because it's going to be the same students who finish early every day, so it's like their natural ability to be able to comprehend the material is getting rewarded every single day, whereas another student who is working twice as hard as them will never have time to be on their phone. I would rather have everyone working on the content. I just think it might create an environment where students will have the tendency to stop working and get on their phones before they're actually done fully understanding the work. That's my opinion. I don't teach high school. I feel like this is probably most applicable to high school. Next one, noisy classrooms are the best classrooms. I had a noisy classroom today. We worked through some problems together and then we had a review game and it was noisy all day long. I felt bad for the class that was next to me. Some noisy days are fine, but I try not to have noisy days, or at least super noisy all the time, because some students really do need that quiet time to be able to like practice and understand and use repetition. So I guess I would have to disagree that they're not always the best classrooms. I do not understand this one, and I put it in a poll and so many people agreed with this person and I have a differing opinion. Free snacks from admin are never worth it. I never question a snack. I just happily take it and eat it and move on. I love this one. Cleaning the art room sink is therapeutic. I don't have an art room sink, but I could imagine it would be very therapeutic, and I kind of wish I had one now. But if you clean it every day, maybe it feels a little less therapeutic, but maybe it still feels therapeutic. It seems fun. Next, I've grown to like actually enjoy parent-teacher conferences. Teach me how. Maybe in 3 years I'll enjoy this, but right now I feel like I'm still solidifying how to present student information to parents. So teachers make good money. Pretty much all teachers went to 4 years of university, and that is time and money that they paid to get something that they're not getting a high return off of. As far as after getting your bachelor's, teachers' pay is the third worst paying. You do have the summers off. I mean, a lot of times you work still during the summers. Even the hourly rate, I don't believe is sufficient for all that teachers do, especially how they calculate the hourly rate. I don't think is necessarily accurate of the time that teachers invest in their students in their classroom. And this was the most disagreed with unpopular opinions. Next one, math is better than ELA. I have to be honest, as a student, I might have enjoyed English a little bit more than math, but I enjoyed teaching math more than I would enjoy teaching English because of the processes, and math is inside of every single person, and it's cool because in a math lesson I can facilitate an environment and ask questions in a way that the students discover math themselves, and no other subject is like that, and I think it's really cool. So I do love teaching math and enjoy doing math, and I probably perform best in math, but English was more interesting as far as class content to me. Round year schooling would be better. There have been a lot of studies that show that it would. I don't know about round year, maybe shorten the summer a little bit, but I don't know if we should take the whole summer away. I get the whole make it fun engagement idea, but I don't necessarily agree. You gotta make it interesting to a degree, but there does have to be an aspect of there are going to be parts of the lesson and parts of a day when you're not going to enjoy every single moment, and that's just how life is. I mean, there are parts of my job that I don't enjoy. It can't all just be fun all of the time. Last one that I'll disclose my opinion on. I love having morning car drop-off duty. We call ours bus duty. Maybe it's the dynamic that we have going on, but it sometimes feels like there's a huge crowd of students and I'm just making sure that they're safe and not too loud. And it doesn't feel relational at all. It feels like managing, and it's not my favorite. I don't like bus duty. I feel like I'm ending on a negative note, but let's get to the juicy ones. I saved 3 juicy ones, so let's read them. I'm a little worried. So the first one, the Pledge of Allegiance is menticide. I'm not even sure I'm saying that word right, but menticide is the systemic effort to undermine or destroy a person's values and beliefs as by the prolonged interrogation, drugs, torture, etc. to induce radically different ideas. Next one, politics do belong in the classroom. Not every political belief is okay to hold. Next one, parents need to be told more often. All right, so I'm not going to share my opinions or thoughts on those things, but you let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. I loved reading all of y'all's opinions and thoughts. It's just so interesting. Like, everyone has such different experiences, and I think it's really fun to be able to like bond over unique, unpopular opinions. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you guys hopefully next time. Bye.